Hey everyone, it's Amy here with this week's Aromatic Spotlight shining on Elemi. You may or may not have heard of Elemi. It's not a more commonly known essential oil, but it is very, very similar to frankincense. So if you like frankincense, you'll probably like Elemi, maybe even a little bit more. It is actually considered the poor man's frankincense, mostly because it's a lot less expensive than frankincense. Also, a reason to buy Elemi over frankincense is that frankincense is on the endangered species list. There's too much demand in the market, the trees are slow growing, and it just cannot keep up with the demand. So purchasing Elemi instead of frankincense can save some of those frankincense trees. So how is it like frankincense? It smells like frankincense, however, it's a little lighter, and there's a hint of lemon with it. It's also a little more balancing than, this is my doggy door, it's more balancing than frankincense. So think mind, body, emotions. It's just overall really nice and grounding essential oil. Like frankincense, it's good for respiratory. It's going to help to clear bronchitis, wheezing, kennel cough, any breathing issues. It tends to slow the breath. So like for my dog Jake, who has laryngeal paralysis, sometimes his breathing gets a little distressed. And an oil like Elemi can just help bring that back to balance. And because it slows breath, it's also good for anxious animals. So if you've ever had any anxiety yourself, you probably know that, like us, animals that are anxious tend to breathe more shallow, more tight. They're not getting deep, relaxed breaths. So an oil like Elemi can help slow that breathing, help balance it off, help balance the anxiety, help calm, help ground. So even ADHD dogs or animals that have ADHD-like tendencies, right, that are a little flighty, a little all over, grounding is really helpful. So Elemi can help them focus a little bit more. And it's also good for grief and sadness. And it sounds weird to say good for grief, but it's going to support and again, balance out the mind and the emotions that come along with grief or sadness. And so it's a nice one to diffuse if you've had to say goodbye to one of your furry friends, and especially if you have another pet that's grieving and missing their friend. So, and lastly, it's skin loving oil. So it's good for dry skin. It's gonna, again, balance. It's gonna help balance a dry skin or an oily skin. Wet wounds like hot spots that need to dry out. It's helpful for that as well. So I hope you learned something about Elemi. If you did, or if you have questions, put them in the comments below, and I will see you next time.